Hello, hello, welcome survivors to First Aid Spray, a Resident Evil channel for Resident Evil goodness, including of course the Resident Evil board games. This has just arrived this moment. This is the all-in plus extras for Resident Evil the board game from Steamforged Games. This is the Kickstarter edition, as you can see. And, well, we're going to unbox it, obviously. You'll have to bear with me. Don't you hate unboxing the stuff, so bear with me, sort of awkward setup. This is going to be another one of those. I've not done an unboxing quite like this before from this setup, so I do apologise for that. I'm going to go through what I can, maybe not necessarily get into every last detail, but we'll try and take a look at most of what is here. Before I get into it, of course, do subscribe to the channel. We are called First Aid Spray. It means we're a Resident Evil channel. We love to talk Resident Evil in all kinds and all forms and all shapes it takes, including the board games, which is an important part of our personal history and journey here on the channel. And we will be doing a full podcast sort of post-release episode sometime in the future as well. So with that being said then, let's just start getting into it, I guess, starting with the core game right here in the centre. Gotta say, I'm a big fan of the artwork on this. I wasn't overly in love with RE3, the board game's Kickstarter artwork, being just an umbrella logo. That's fine, but yeah, this sort of throwback to the original Japanese Biohazard artwork's really nice, and it looks really good in person. The quality is absolutely there, as you would expect, and the moment that we've all been waiting for, of course. There he is. Mr. Turnaround Zombie, Mr. Peruk, as we like to call him. That's quite special. What a cool idea. And I guess the dashboard for items, tension deck, all that good stuff. At this point, this is Steamforged third Resident Evil board game. So we know what we're getting into here. And we know the level of quality to expect. Very high quality looking rulebook. Oh, that's enough. Lovely piece of artwork. Yeah, looking forward to going through this. I obviously, again, having playtested it and stuff, I know most of what the rules are anyway, and having played the first two. But it is always nice to look through and see what's different in each rulebook. We have the scenario book as well, which is really very cool. I have seen some images of this already, looking directly like the Resident Evil remake map screen. Very cool. Gives you the layout of each map to begin with, and then the tiles you might need as you explore. So we've got tile sheets here. They are just a little dark, but not RE2 levels of dark. I think they're characterful kind of dark. You can tell what rooms are supposed to be what. Of course, we've got the dining room here, the night puzzle room, that kind of stuff. Classic corridor. We got a nice 1F main hall there. I'll have a proper look through these myself at some point. And then token sheets as well. The danger level, which is now represented by one of these dials, as is of course the ammo and such like that. And oh, that's an interesting tile, isn't it? And of course the rooftop as well. So yeah, good stuff. Oh, here we go to the exciting part now, the plastic crack. So this is your set of miniatures for the core game, with your playable heroes and your many monsters, several hunters. We'd like to see that. Lisa Trevor, Tyrant, and a whole lot of zombies, and some Cerberus as well. And these guys, which are the Crimson Heads specifically. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Focus isn't so bad. Feels good. Looks good. As usual. Steamforged miniatures. Some of the best miniatures when it comes to board games. Hands down. So this is, again, the level of quality. The lighting in here is not exactly doing them the best of favours, but I'm sure you can sort of see how quality they are. The volume on this is probably all over the place because I'm moving all over the shop. There's the Master of Unlocking herself. And of course, Mr. Burton. And making their debuts in the Resident Evil board game universe, of course, we have Chris and Rebecca. Good stuff. Good stuff. There's also, of course, the cards for the core game. I will neatly edit this in after the fact, after I realised that I didn't actually look at these. But I really love the design on these because they really do reflect the remake of the game's aesthetic really, really well. There's Lisa Drever's boss behaviour. Some map cards. I'm not going to get all of these out right now. That would be ruining the fun, right? Ruining the surprise. These are the sort of missions that your Stars members might have to go on that aren't in your party, your additional Stars members. I think that might be the encounter deck because instead of a table that you would roll on like in the previous games, you now draw cards from a deck to see what is in each room. And then we have some items and such as well. So yeah, looking good. So I suppose it's worth saying, let's move actually onto this box here at the bottom just to address what this odd little white box is. It's the game trays from the company of the same name. I imagine this is Kickstarter exclusive, of course. Oh, this is the actual front, judging by the lack of artwork. So I'm looking forward to putting all that together. I rather enjoy a game trays. I'm a fan. So yeah, happy for that. It's a shame that the other trays don't have anything, but again, maybe they don't need it. That's the other thing. We've also got, in terms of extras, the neoprene dashboards. That's the word I was looking for your characters, for your inventories, for your weapons, for your kerosene, and so on and so forth. That's a really nice little upgrade as well. Let's break into our first expansion, which is the Bleak Outpost, which will be representing the guardhouse from the game. So in here we will find some interesting miniatures and bosses in terms of the Plant 42 and the Neptune. Here's the tile sheets for Bleak Outpost, starting with the boss tile for Plant 42, which on the reverse side is the Aqua Ring. That looks really cool. Big fan of that. And then of course we have tiles to better represent the guardhouse, which they definitely do. There's a few more as well, so good stuff. Big fan of additional sort of unique tiles and stuff like that. And let's take a couple of looks at these guys. So we have Neptune himself, FI3, looking pretty gribbly, it has to be said. And then this big old mama, which is the first miniature in, I believe, in Resident Evil board game history, which is 2 parts. There we go. There's the old onion head. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like the underlay of that. It looks really cool with sort of cracks, and yeah, I'm a fan. The next expansion is Into the Darkness, which, as the name implies, takes us into the caves underneath the mansion. And again, unique scenarios, and also some unique boss fights with Yawn and the Black Tiger. So fairly low on miniatures in here, obviously, but you don't need anything more than these really anyway. And there are enemies that we haven't seen are in a box below us, so fret not. Every piece of content from Resident Evil is in here. I am not a huge fan of snakes, so this is giving me a little bit of the squick right now, but it's a very cool miniature, so I'll give them that much. I mean, if I'm getting the squick from a bit of plastic, that's good, right? I guess, sort of. So this is the Director's Cut box, which is the lightest one of the lot, which actually tells me that it is going to be miniature heavy-ish. Like, I have a good feeling that this is going to be one of my favourites. I was always a fan of the survival horror expansion in Resident Evil 2, which gave us lots more monsters and lots more sculpts and that kind of good stuff. And indeed, this is where some of the extra goodies are definitely hiding, including one of my favourite monsters in Resident Evil history, the Chimera. Look how ugly that thing is. Gotta love it. I say you've got to love it because no one else will. You've also got, of course, spiders. My new favourite guy here, Mr. Jazz Hands himself. Big fan of that guy. And of course, we have a whole slew of hero miniatures as well. Albert Wesker immediately standing out at the top there. What a badass. And his enemy variant just below as well. We have Zombie Forest Speyer. Bless him. Covered in grenades, as he well should be. And Rico as well. This is Joseph with his Mossberg shotgun. I believe that's correct. Brad and the helmet. That's nice. Nice reflective of that classic piece of artwork. The Brad Vickers board game trilogy is complete. We have Richard. We have Kenneth. We have Forrest. We have, I assume this is Edward on the end. Yeah, looks awesome. Super excited about getting into all of these and painting them as soon as possible. And also, I've just noticed, of course, is that all the backer names are on the boxes as well. We're not going to be spending too long staring at that because otherwise we really will be here forever. And that is the retro pack. This is an ongoing trend in these board games to give us a second set of cards that are more reflective of the original version of the game rather than its remake or perhaps a new style. So these are all sort of pixelated versions of the cards that look closer to Resident Evil's 1996 incarnation, as you can see from the classic blue and stuff like that, and even the backs as well, reflective more of that as well. I am very torn about which I will use of these because these are really cool, but so are the other ones basically. These are really cool and so are the others, so which cool am I going to use? That is the real question. Got the monster box, which is fairly self-explanatory. It's a box of monsters. This is just more sculpts if you want them. This is actually really nicely laid out. So anything I said about game trays before, to be fair, across the board, I think it really only matters for the base game. This is really nicely tightly packed in there with some more hunters, dogs, zombos. Our next box of plastic crack is the terrain box. I already have the terrain from RE2 and 3, which is sort of sitting unused because I could just use the old stuff, but I couldn't resist getting this one because these are a bunch of new sort of door sculpts and that kind of thing. We've got some more archways, more doors. This is all nicely bagged together as well. Some stairways, and of course, ink ribbons, typewriters, all the important goodness to bring your game to life just that little bit more. These are the Kickstarter exclusives. So we have exclusive sculpts for basically these are sort of the advanced versions of the characters, essentially different poses for our heroes. You've got immediately their Forest Speyer and the grenade launcher, very important to have. Jill running with the shotgun, that's cool. RE3 Jill in there as well. Cowboy Rebecca, we have this Chris in his woolly hat from Remake, his Brad Pitt outfit, so that's a thing. Really cool stuff. Lots of Chris, lots of Jill, but every character at least gets one more. And of course, perhaps the neatest one of all is Rookie Rebecca, which is the basketball outfit from the file hidden in Resident Evil 2. This is with the kind of nerdery that you can expect out of these board games and attention to detail. And finally, we have the last two, which is the community requested extras. To give the long and short of it, the Fallen 5, the Resident Evil Kickstarter campaign had a bit of a choose your own adventure with the backers deciding who would live and who would die, but by the end of it everybody needed to survive. The community decreed that we couldn't let everyone well, some characters have alternate sculpts and some not. So this is a very exclusive add-on because it gives all the dead characters a second chance on life. And again, speaks to that nerdery of Steamforged and of the Resident Evil board games, and to the community as well, who know what they want and will push for it, because this is a sort of late stage campaign, sort of post-campaign edition. As was our final piece, the Gold Tyrant from the Sega Saturn version of Resident Evil, found in the battle mode. Really neat. Actually, this looks so good in little blister packet with his reflective cards as well. I'm almost tempted to leave it in there. We'll see, because that's a really nice little item by itself. Really, really cool. So there we go, there is a look through of Resident Evil, the board game, a bit of a rough unboxing. We might, as I say, we're definitely doing coverage of this as part of a sort of podcast soon, and we may well even throw something over on First Aid Plays, our YouTube channel, where I might set up something and play through some of the game as well. Watch this space, I guess. But thank you for watching this video. Do leave a like if you enjoyed it, and again, do subscribe if you're into Resident Evil. This is our jam, this is our bread and butter. Thank you for watching me ramble through all of this haphazardly, and hope everyone gets their games soon as I record this, and look forward to the retail release as well over on steamforged.com. I think that's correct. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good week.